Welcome back to Real Pain, the movie podcast where two generations clash over whether their movies deserve to be considered a classic or not. I'm Matthew, a Gen Zer.
And I'm John, a millennial.
And today I have brought The Maze Runner for John to watch for the very first time. Let's get into it. Well, John, did you notice we had a return actor from a previous movie did way in the beginning of the year?
Yeah. Will Porter?
Poulter. Yeah.
Poulter.
We got to remember the L because I did not, when we did the episode for Death of a Unicorn, I kept calling him Will Porter.
You got killed in the comments.
Yeah, it was rough. There's an L on there, but now we know.
Yep.
He's very young in this movie.
Yeah. Was this one of his first roles, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I can't remember when. He was also in We're the Millers. I don't know if you remember that movie. I think.
Yeah, he was the brother, right?
Yeah.
Or the quote-unquote brother,
Yeah, the quote-unquote brother. I can't remember which one came first, but yeah, definitely a very...
Yeah, and it's very polar opposite roles.
Yes, exactly.
This one's post-apocalyptic, and the other one's more of a humor.
Yeah, so how, familiar are you with, quote-unquote dystopian YA movies? Because there was The Maze Runner, there was Hunger Games, then there's the Divergent series. I would kind of say those were the big three of the era.
The Holy Trinity, if you will.
If you will.
I won't. But I would say I was very aware of them. I had friends that were very much into them, but I just didn't see what the hype was about.
Sure.
And so that being said, I feel like I've watched the Hunger Games at least once.
Okay.
And at the time, I was just like, this kind of isn't my thing.
Sure.
So I never gave Divergent a shot because I heard that was kind of a parallel-ish
that's
series. And then when The Maze Runner came out, I remember seeing that and being just straight up being like, that looks pretty dumb.
Oh, no. Yeah, so this movie came out in 2014. How old would you have been when that came out?
I think 28 or 29.
Okay, that's fair. Because 2014, when it came out for me and everybody else in my grade, it was like 7th or 8th grade.
Yeah.
So it was so cool seeing people our age doing post-apocalyptic stuff like that. So it's just like, oh, I can imagine us being in this situation. It's just really cool seeing that.
So what came out first? What order did they come out?
As far as
did Hunger Games come out?
Yeah, so Hunger Games was 2012. The first movie came out. This one was 2014. I think Divergent was also, it's either 14 or 15. I can't remember.
And then how many Maze Runners are there total?
So there's three. And I'm going to get into books?
It. Okay.
Yeah. The last Maze Runner movie came out in 2018, which I think we'll get into it.
Did it peter off?
I think the whole dystopian era was very much... the last Hunger Games movie came out 2015.
Yeah.
And I think, speaking from mindset of our time, I was like, all right. Because Hunger Games was definitely the biggest one out of them all.
Yeah.
That one's done. I think we might need to move on, guys.
Yeah, got it.
That was just kind of the mindset of me and my friends of the time.
Yeah.
People might have differing opinions, but yeah. Should we get into what The Maze Runner's about?
Yeah. Hit us with the premise.
Okay. So, starts off blank screen. Opens up. You're going up the elevator with Thomas. You don't know what's going on, and he doesn't know what's going on, which I really appreciated. You're thrown right in with him.
I loved it.
Yeah. So eventually makes it up to the top. There's a bunch of kids looking in on him. He gets out, and you're in the Glade. Super cool name.
Mm-hmm.
So he discovers that there's a bunch of other kids who have also been sent up to the Glade with him. They don't know anything about themselves except for their first names, and that they're also inside a giant maze. So everybody kind of has their own role in the Glade. So Maze Runner is kind of the big one. Those are the people that go out in the maze and try and figure out how to get out of it. Then there's the builders, the cooks, the farmers, that kind of stuff. And eventually you kind of find out that there is a organization called Wicked kind of masterminding everything. You find that out because there are these monsters called the Grievers. Thomas figures out how to kill one, but then some people are like, hey, you just got here. We're not cool with this.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, listen up, man. And things just kind of unravel from there. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to completely spoil it, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a great overview. And I was pleasantly surprised with how much I enjoyed it. But before we get into that, we should probably do our initial ratings.
Let's do initial ratings.
Okay. Well, while we're doing our ratings, I would just ask if there's any movie that you think is a classic millennial movie that Gen Z needs to watch for the first time, or vice versa, leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you, and let's get it on our list.
Sweet. Good job, John.
Yeah, thanks. That only took 3 times.
All right, I'll let you go first.
All right. Here we go.
John's rating is an 8.
There we go. All right. Matthew's up.
I'm up. Here we go. John has his eyes closed.
Matthew's rating is an 8.5.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Let's get into it. I think what you were saying about the beginning, how it started off, how this Thomas character is dropped right in the middle of everything. So you're figuring stuff out as he is because his memory's been erased. I think is brilliant. Sometimes I feel like in movies when they try to over-explain to the audience, it gets a little like, yeah, we know that. Like, and this is more of okay, we're learning with the character, we're growing with the character. And
yeah, I feel like sometimes with movies, there's always that one character that it's supposed to relate to the audience that like they don't know anything about what's going on.
Right.
And sometimes it can be a little obnoxious, but this made sense within the story of why he doesn't know anything. And I really appreciated that.
Yeah, for sure. I thought all of the characters were good. Who was it Newt? Was he the redheaded skinny kid?
Yeah, Newt was the only British kid in the whole entire like ensemble. It's so funny because they all have like American accents, but then Newt is just British for some reason.
Yeah. Well, I hadn't seen him in like that grown up of a role because he was the kid in Love Actually.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yes.
the one that's he's chases her to the airport or whatever.
Yup.
So that was kind of, I don't think I've ever seen him in anything other than Love Actually. So that was kind of fun to see him in a different role.
That is fun. Nice. Yeah, I thought everybody was great, especially for like teenage actors. I feel like sometimes it can be a little rough, but I thought they all were very convincing.
Yeah. Let's talk about the tribe of boys.
Okay.
Here's my hot take. Maybe not so.
Okay.
We'll see. Okay. They're all probably like early 20s, late teens.
I'd say teenagers. Yeah.
And they're dropped off. They live in the middle of this maze. So we can kind of get into the concept of the maze runner real quick. But they're all in this. And on a daily routine, they send out these runners that have to go through the maze. And the whole idea is that they're trying to find a way out, trying to map the maze. And they've been doing that for 3 years. But if they don't get back by a certain time at night, then the maze closes and it'll close them in, and the Grievers will get them.
And the maze changes every night, which I thought that was a cool little twist.
Yes. So that being said, the camp that all of these boys live at is really super well organized. And I don't think 20-year-old boys are capable of.
I would love to run an experiment. And I said this like as a middle schooler, I would love to like make our own little community in the woods and just see how long we would last. I feel like that'd be so fun.
Yeah, because it would be fun to see like what idols people create.
Who we start worshiping.
Yeah. Who gets offed first.
Who gets thrown into the maze.
Yep. So anyways, I just thought that was, I was like, yeah, but it's so funny because it's a dystopian movie. And then in my mind, I'm like, I think the most unrealistic thing about this whole thing is how organized these boys are.
Yeah. I don't want to say it's a ripoff, but it did remind me a lot of Lord of the Flies. Have you read that book?
I don't read. My friends are really pressuring me into opening a book,
if you will, if you want to call it that.
I can read. Let's
get that out of the way.
That's one thing that people have accused me of not being able to do. No, but I have seen the original Lord of the Flies movie.
Okay.
So I know the premise, but it was such a long time ago that it didn't really, I kind of maybe thought that one time while watching Maze Runner, like, I wonder how much this is like Lord of the Flies, but
yeah, it kind of felt like that, but with like a maze and secret organization twist. But
well, I feel like all these ideas for movies now are just remixes.
Sure.
So it's like, what if we did, like, what was that movie that you just saw with Bob Odenkirk? Normal.
Oh yeah, it's
like,
basically just like Nobody, but in Minnesota.
yeah. So and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
But it just seems like that's how like a lot of movies get pitched. Like, there was one with Josh Hartnett that just came out like last year, and it was like John Wick but on an airplane, and so it's just like all these different like remixes. So it wasn't too distracting.
Yeah, no, and I think it was different enough. It was like a unique idea. It was like far away enough. But there was moments where I was like, when they started, fighting each other, I was like, this is very Lord of the Flies-esque.
Yeah.
If you will. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, but overall, man, it was a good time. I really enjoyed it. I knew nothing about it. I hadn't even watched really a trailer. I mean, maybe when it first came out, I saw a trailer.
Sure.
But I was just overall pleasantly surprised. I think I know what your favorite scene is.
Yeah, I would love to hear what you think it is, because I don't know if you're going to be able to guess it.
Oh, dude,
it's
I
really
got it locked in. Okay, ready? So I think your favorite scene is, I believe this is after Thomas goes and he kills a Griever. They come back and Gally is having like sort of like a town hall meeting.
Yep.
And his whole point is like, hey, this Thomas guy's only been here for 3 days. He's already killed a Griever. Like, now Grievers are out during the day, and like everything's changing because he did this one thing. So and then like people in this meeting are trying to like pick sides. So they're all debating like what should happen to Thomas. Should he be punished? Should he be made a runner? Like all of this. And so he's already at this point made like kind of a connection with the character Chuck.
Yes.
And so Chuck starts chanting Thomas.
Yeah, Thomas, and nobody joins in. It was so sad.
And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, cause I already loved the Chuck character, but then to like for him to be like rooting for them, cause we're like the audience, we're rooting for the main character.
Yes.
And then Chuck, this sweet little kid, is also rooting for the main character, but nobody's on his side. So it's like Chuck and I, we're on
Chuck's
the same
a real
page.
OG.
Yeah.
Chuck reminded me, I'm pretty sure this was his name, but in 10 Things I Hate About You, I think Michael was the friend.
Yes.
Yeah, he reminded me of Michael because he just instantly took Thomas in under his wing. He's like, I like you, Thomas.
Yep.
We're going to be pals.
Yep.
And I love those characters. Not my favorite scene, unfortunately.
All right.
Like I said, it's very random.
Okay.
But at one point in the movie, the character Ben, he's like out in the woods. Thomas finds him. He just got stung.
Yep.
And so he's going a little, I won't say rabid, but he's going a little crazy.
Yep.
So the scene is they're pushing Ben into the maze because they can't have him there because he's too crazy.
Yeah.
And then the maze door closes in on Ben. And this is why I asked you off camera if you watched it with subtitles or not, because you can't actually hear this piece of dialogue.
Oh, okay.
The only reason I caught it is because I had subtitles on. But as soon as he is pushed in the maze and they're walking away, one of the extras just goes, messed up. I would love to have seen someone say it. Oh, messed up.
Messed up.
After like a pretty harrowing experience.
Yeah. Yeah, those are always some of the funniest bits. They can take you out of the movie for a second for sure. But I mean, I didn't catch that at all. And I was we're finally like in the process of like finishing our basement, so I can actually like watch movies at a decent volume.
Ooh, nice.
And I still didn't hear it.
Yeah, I didn't hear it either. It was only because the subtitles were on. I was like, that is hilarious.
Yeah, that's good.
I bet I would love to imagine that extra was so proud. He's like, Mom, Dad, I got a line in the Maze Runner.
Yeah.
And they go see it in theaters. You can't even hear it.
That's my voice. Did you hear it?
Did you hear it?
Like, no, I couldn't hear it over eating popcorn.
I think what's so interesting about, we kind of touched on Gally already.
Yeah.
In the beginning of the movie, he's kind of presented almost like a bully type character.
Yes.
Like he's constantly calling, I think he was calling Thomas a slopper, which that's a hilarious name. Shank, yes, thank you.
Shank. Slopper is even better.
Which is a job title, by the way.
Okay.
We'll get into it later. Yeah, he was calling him a shank, and you see him like wrestling with people and stuff. But holy moly, is he a stickler for the rules?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. The rules that he wrote.
Yeah, he wrote.
Yeah.
Very interesting dichotomy there.
Were you able to place yourself in his perspective though? Because like I would imagine if you were the first one to show up in the middle of nowhere.
Well, that was Albie.
Albie was the
Albie was the very first one.
Oh, I guess I didn't catch that. I thought it was Gally.
No, Albie is the very first one. He's like the head honcho.
Albie is the head honcho? I thought Gally was the head honcho.
No, Gally is the head honcho of the builders. He's not even like, yeah, it goes Albie and then Newt and then like kind of the head of different job.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what happens when it's a first time watch is you're not as dialed in.
Well, that's
as
what's
many.
even funnier is that like Gally isn't even in charge of anybody except for the builders, but he likes to act like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it was a little confusing. So yeah, that detail was missed on me, unfortunately.
We forgive. It's the first watch.
It's the first watch.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do you think my favorite scene was?
I think your favorite scene, just from a movie making and video perspective, is when you see the very first shot of them walking and it kind of pans up to show you just how tall the maze truly is.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen how they shot that behind the scenes, and I think you thought that was really cool.
I thought actually all of the special effects were really well done, especially for this movie kind of being over 10 years old.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this before on the pod, but somehow CGI has gotten worse. I think it's just because so many people are demanding it for all of their projects. But
one things, they just want it to come out faster too.
well, and here's the thing though. I remember seeing the first trailer and being like, that looks campy.
Sure.
And I don't know if those like the graphics at the time, I could be mistaken, but I remember seeing that like, that doesn't look that good.
Sure.
But then now CGI has gotten so bad.
There's like the bar got lowered.
I'm watching this movie and I'm like, this is insane. Especially like with some of the running scenes, like there's a part of the maze called the blades where there's all those blades that like fold in and you have to like dive through them. Like that scene looked incredible.
Yeah. I mean, there was moments where you could definitely tell they were in a green screen room, but it didn't look abysmal. It's just like, oh yeah, I can kind of tell they're not actually there, but it still looked fine.
Yep. No, I would agree with that. I mean, just the production was awesome, and I would love to actually watch the behind the scenes and see were they at in an open field, and then they had like a green screen in the background, and
well, and the CGI for the Grievers, I think, held up incredibly well too.
so good.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think the one scene that I also really, really appreciated is because they didn't over rely on CGI either. So it's a scene where they're going back into the maze. Thomas, the night before, killed a Griever by smashing him in between two walls because the maze was changing.
Yep.
When they go back, it's not a CGI arm hanging out of the wall. It's like actual props they can hold on to and stuff. I just love that they took the time to actually make real props of the like destroyed monster. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, because they like get the goo all over their hands and they're like interacting with it, and like, yeah, that is disgusting. And
yeah, there's one point, this is back to when Thomas just like discovered the Griever and he's running away from him. The Griever's above him, and I don't know if it's like spit or whatever, but the slime falls on his shirt And that reminded me of the scene from Journey to the Center of the Earth when the T-Rex is right above him and it falls down on him.
Yeah.
Yeah, very similar.
Yep. No, I mean, everything was good. And honestly, like I was on the edge of my seat. There was a couple scenes where I'm like really engaged. Like I actually don't know what's going to happen and I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, it's been a long time since I watched it, so that was kind of fun. So a couple of these scenes still felt newer to me. But yeah, that scene when Thomas is running away and he's trying to get the Griever to be smashed between the two walls, I was on the edge of my seat. It was very well done.
Yeah. Yep. For sure. Okay, least favorite scene.
Man, this is a tough one. I don't know if you had anything you were really, really upset with.
For my least favorite scene, I'm going to nitpick.
Okay.
And it's actually not even like, it's not even like a least favorite scene part is I wish the movie would have been a series. I think that this movie could have benefited from being 8 episodes.
I think that's a very fair take.
So here's my thought process on that. Don't get me wrong. The pacing throughout the movie is the same, in my opinion, but it's fast.
It is very
so
fast.
like the fact that like you don't like, I would have liked to know what the stakes were. Like I want to like chew on it, if you will.
Yeah.
But like they show you a little bit of a glimpse of like what the life is like before Thomas comes, but like it would have been cool to see like him just like meet a couple more characters.
Yeah. Kind of like how the Glade actually works on like a day-to-day.
Yeah, and then but also like with like the Grievers, for example, and maybe you could correct me if I'm wrong, but like they don't address that it's like a bug and a machine.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of
known.
just the Grievers, you know.
But like I mean, because the first time Thomas is getting chased by a Griever, I'm like, is that a mechanical arm? And so like they just don't ever
acknowledge that it's like a hybrid type
Yeah, because
thing.
like to me, I'd be like, yo, somebody made that.
Yeah, for sure.
And so to me, there was just a couple things that it would have been nice to like spend more time with of like,
yeah, I did find that interesting that at no point during the movie they were like, what the heck is a Griever? Yeah, I agree.
But again, I mean, it was, and then like they could have taken a few more like adventures out into the maze and like, again, very nitpicky.
Yeah.
But like I said, I mean, it was a great time. I just like, cause even at the end, we're going to get into some spoilers here. Like, so once they get out of the maze and they kind of see the headquarters where they're like controlling the maze and all of that stuff, to me, the note that the main lady leaves right before she like unalives herself.
Very safe way of saying that.
So after she does that, then it's like 5 minutes before you find out that she didn't do that. And so to me, when I'm watching that, I'm like, that would have been a great ending to like episode 7.
Yep. Agreed.
And then the follow-up of 8 where you find out that she's like alive. And
yeah, and I definitely would have loved more time to kind of see how like a group of teenage boys, how that society works and kind of like the interrelationships and it kind of crumbling more. Because we kind of got like bits and pieces of Thomas and Gally arguing and then like other characters like picking sides. I just would have wanted more of that, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think a series would have benefited it for sure.
yeah. So in terms of like what I think your least favorite scene is, I mean, again, we're kind of nitpicking at this point. So the only thing that like stuck out to me was when they're all running from the Grievers. So like there's like 20 Grievers, they get out of the maze and then they're like basically destroying the camp and killing as many of them as they can. They all hide in that like stick shelter.
Yeah.
And then the stick shelter like somewhat holds up.
Yeah, for like way longer.
And I'm like, and maybe it's because my wife is obsessed with Survivor. But I'm like,
there's no
Dude,
way.
like a strong wind would take that thing out.
I did have a problem with that for sure. I was like, there's no way this huge mechanical monster it's holding the weight of that up.
Right.
Yeah, honestly, so I have a question,
Yep.
and it's not meant to be a trick one. I like genuinely want to know.
Okay. That makes me think it's a trick.
After finishing the movie, did you feel compelled at all to want to watch the other two?
Ish. Yeah. 'Cause like, spoiler, again, in the end, Chuck, that character that we talked about previously that you like can't help but love, he dies. And I'm like, you can't do that to my boy. But also foreshadowing, I wrote this down in my notes. When he early on tries to give that little figurine that reminds him of his parents to Thomas, I'm like, oh, dude.
Yeah, he's not keeping
Chuck is
that.
cooked.
Yep, for sure. Yeah, I think so. I guess my least favorite scene is the ending. And I think with the Maze Runner series as movies, I think two things kind of hindered it a little bit. One, not really being its fault, one kind of its fault. One was it kind of was the first movie came out as the post-apocalyptic dystopian movie thing was kind of already dying because the last movie didn't come out to 2018 and that was well past that kind of era's prime.
Sure.
But the other thing is I felt like they didn't really leave that many questions on the table for
Agree.
a sequel.
Yeah.
Because you find out what the maze was. It was a trial thing. They're trying to figure out what makes these kids different. You found out who was doing it, Wicked. You found out why they were doing it. And again, this might just be a personal thing, but the only real question I had was, what's this phase 2 going to be?
Yeah.
I didn't really feel compelled to watch the other two, and I'm not going to lie, I haven't watched the other two.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That's
'cause
hilarious.
I didn't feel compelled enough to watch it. So I almost wonder if the Maze Runner, like it would have worked as a self-contained story.
Sure. Yeah. I agree. Yeah, they needed to give you a little bit of it. And this is, again, like why I mentioned it. I feel like it would be better as a series is like that woman offering herself and then just being alive the next like 5 minutes. I'm like, like that doesn't lead, like that actually makes me not really that interested. Like, cause that's such a climactic thing to happen. And so for it to immediately be undone, I'm like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But that being said, like, I almost feel like they needed to start the next phase and then I would have been curious. So like wherever they're going, and again, you and I don't know. Have you seen the second Maze Runner,
I
Tabby?
think I have, but I can't remember the plot.
Okay.
I cannot remember the plot, yeah.
Gotcha. All right. Well, there you have it. How did the second Maze Runner start?
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know in the comments. But to see like, because they did cut it at a part where they're going into the next phase, but you don't know what that is. And so
But that's like, that's the only question you're left with is, what is the next phase?
yeah.
I just wish there was a little more mystery left, I guess.
Yeah, totally agree.
Yeah. I think one other thing that kind of bothered me is when Ben gets stung and later on Thomas is like, what's happening to Ben? Like, why is, what's going on? I can't remember who he was talking to, but they go, yeah, we call it the changing. I was like, that is so boring and unoriginal. And the reason I had a problem with it is because they have like such cool like job title names. They call Thomas a greenie all the time. They got a job that's literally called Slopper. Like they have cool original names, but they're just like, yeah, when someone gets stung and basically turns rabid, that's just the changing.
Yeah. Okay. Come up with a name. I got one.
Okay.
They're amazing. just so
quitting
bad.
the pod.
Just so bad. Just have it be so bad.
Yeah. I mean,
He's turning into a maze.
it's like the Iron Man disease when it's like
Yeah.
the veins are really like
Because
angular.
at one point the neck kind of did look like it was like a maze shape kind of thing. I don't know.
Could be onto
That's
something.
a really bad joke. It's not even really a joke. It's just me saying a dumb thing.
I mean, you are a dad, so It's par for the course.
So I get a little bit of a pass. So, were any mazes hurt in the filming of this?
I hope not.
Yeah.
We kind of didn't mention a big reveal, but Thomas and Teresa, also last person to get sent up to the Glade, was a girl. Crazy. They used to work for Wicked.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they sent themselves down. I didn't really understand why they were.
That was unclear.
Yeah. But the note that comes up with Teresa, it says she's the last one. The amount of people after they saw that note that went, what do you think this means? What do you think it means? It means she's the last one. I did.
See,
why were they so?
That's why I don't think they could have made a living habitat as clean and professional as that if they can't figure out the note.
Yeah, that was the other part. I was like, are you guys serious? Why is this confusing?
Yeah.
Also, why did Ben get pushed into the maze when Albie was brought back in instead of also being pushed into the maze?
Maybe because Albie was a little more sleepy. I don't know. Ben was like actively choking Thomas out.
That's true.
Yeah.
But and maybe it was a little bit more of like Albie was their leader type thing. That is a good question though. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I also found it interesting. Well, I guess that was part of maybe like the tests or whatever, that they sent up 2 antidotes with Teresa too.
Yeah.
You couldn't have sent that any other time. Come on.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
But I guess that could be part of their experiments. I don't know.
Yeah. And I also thought too, like, are they actually dying? But I think they are. I think they are. But I just thought that at one point because I'm like,
Yeah.
I mean, Chuck pretty much just got shot, so I think
I think that's a safe bet.
I think that's a
he's actually dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, Chuck dying, that hurt. I put that in
Rest
my
in peace.
dislike list.
Rest in peace, King.
Do you think it added anything, like killing off Chuck?
The only thing I would say is I was like so sad that when that happened, and I'm like, God, fix it. Like so many, and I feel like there's not a lot of emotional weight in some stuff, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or in a lot of things. I feel like there's just a ton of happy endings where like all of the characters make it, or the only person that died, you didn't really like him to begin with.
Yeah.
But like offing a really likable character, I'm like, oh, nobody's safe. This is,
Oh, sure.
it just made it feel like it's more like there's actual stakes.
Yeah. No, it was crazy that they killed off 3 people in a row too, because the woman scientist, she dies.
Yep.
Then they kill Glade, which I thought that was a really good death because he was so stuck in his ways that it ended up killing him anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Chuck, that hurt. That hurt my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is ironic because that's where Galley got hit.
Yeah, because he didn't have one actually. But yeah, I mean, besides the ending for me, I feel like these are mostly nitpicky stuff.
Yeah.
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 Okay, I do have a fun little question for you.
Okay.
If you, random scenario, if you ended up waking up in the Glade, what job, and I wrote a list of them all down, what job do you think you'd want? Would you want the main one, the runner, a gardener, the medicine person, a slopper, a bagger, a builder, a cook, a slicer, which is essentially like they're farmers, or a map maker?
I think Slicer.
Yeah, you want to be a farmer?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that'd be fun.
What about you, Tabby?
Me too. I want to be on the garden.
Okay. So you want to be a gardener then?
Does a slicer do less than a gardener?
Yeah, Slicer deals mainly with the animals. Then there's the gardeners that does all the gardening.
Yeah, I think I would do more animal stuff.
Okay.
Okay, I do. I want the plants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What
I would be
about-
the cook, so that would work out.
Oh my gosh.
nice.
Guys, we could have our own society right
Dude,
here.
next
Yeah.
time people tune into the podcast, we're going to have like this wooded shelter.
Yeah.
There's going to be a fire in the middle.
And you're content staying inside. We're not leaving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
other thing, kind of going back to your wishing it was a series, Teresa was not very developed that much.
Hey, you can't say that, buddy.
Oh, oh, like you can say that.
Oh yeah, no, I would agree.
Wish we just got more time with her character.
Yeah, because they could, and I feel like they could have done a little bit more flashback stuff.
Oh, speaking of the flashbacks,
Yeah.
every time Thomas was sleeping, have you ever played the first Assassin's Creed?
No.
So there are flashback montages that look almost exactly like the very flashy, almost blue tinted stuff. It's
Okay.
like, this is very early 2010s video game-esque.
Well, I did think of X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Okay.
A lot of flashbacks where he's in the water. There's bubbles and
Yep.
yeah. So I definitely had that.
Very of its time type
Yeah.
flashback
Yep.
look for sure.
Yep, for sure.
Dope.
Last thing I thought I would mention, just because we like making movies and we actually got a new, behind the scenes we say it's a new toy, but when my accountant wife listens to the pod, I need to say tool.
Yes.
So she doesn't think that we're having fun. We're working really hard.
Absolutely.
But we got one of those gimbals that can do a 360 barrel roll. Mm-hmm. So we were playing around with it yesterday, and I have that shot of zooming in on Matthew, and it's panning. So watching The Maze Runner last night, there's a scene, and I think it's pretty early on, where there's a bunch of wind that comes out of the maze, and it's coming at Thomas and the other characters.
So close.
But it's also doing the 360 barrel roll. And I'm like, oh, if I just had a leaf blower and that gimbal, we could make
Yeah.
that scene.
I wonder how they shot that in 2014. I thought gimbals were really big back then, unless it was more of like an industry thing.
Well, they've had gimbals for a long time. It's just like whether like what they can do with it. So I don't know if they had electronic gimbals around
cranes.
then, but I know that they have
cranes,
like
yeah.
they had, because I had one. My first gimbal, it was literally just a handle and then a bar, and then you had these weights underneath it, and you had to like balance the weights, and then you would like run with it, but it was so heavy because the amount of weights you needed to like
Balance it almost.
and so then that's when you see people with the backpacks, like they still use those, I think, at like sporting events and stuff when they're like,
oh, sure.
but it's like a whole rig that you need. It's not designed for like, and you couldn't really do like a barrel roll with it necessarily. So yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
Camera techniques.
One more scene I wanted to bring up before I think we're going to get into some fun facts.
Yeah.
there.
Fun facts. Wow.
Immediately thought of you when I saw it, but it's right when they get into the abandoned laboratory as they're all entering. It's kind of like an establishing shot. In the very top left corner, there's some sparks going.
No, Sparkies.
Spark shot.
I love a good spark shot.
You love a good spark shot.
If this is your first episode listening, I talk about this often, but one of my favorite things to shoot is things that spark. Because I'm a very simplistic creature.
So I think that's got to be at least another half point if a movie has a spark shot in it.
We'll see. Should we get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
Okay.
Okay, so so one of the two primary locations this film was set in is Louisiana, and that place is famous. The specific place was famously known for venomous snakes, and so they had to hire snake wranglers to clear the space before they went to shoot, and they got 25 snakes.
Holy crap.
And the biggest one they found was a 5-foot rattlesnake.
I wonder if they were accredited in the movie.
That's
That would have been
right.
awesome.
Oh, I bet they were.
Like, yeah, I was the snake wrangler for Maze Runner.
Like, dude, there were snakes in that? Wasn't
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Weren't they only fighting grievers?
Those snakes. Also, I think you have a good point about this should have been a series because like there's so much information that was left out from the books. Like one is Teresa and Thomas could actually communicate to each other telepathically.
What?
Okay.
Yeah.
That would have been sick.
Yeah, there's another one. There's this specific one. The Grievers actually in the books, they were like killed one at a time instead of all at once during that last scene where they just like go ahead and just like start killing. They like organized killing them one by one each day. So that was
See,
that was
I
so fun.
think because my friends have been pressuring me into reading a book,
Yeah.
I think this might be the first one.
Yeah.
Let's go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That
Only
would
if
be
it's in the
awesome.
free library that's outside our.
Also, Chuck was not, he originally did not get the audition for, the actor who plays Chuck did not get the audition
No
for this role.
way.
Yeah, so he just spam tweeted the director.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
he was like, I'm your Chuck. And he was perfect for this role.
He
Yeah.
really was.
Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah,
agree.
I was
Agree.
looking at this. I was thinking, I bet they cast an intentionally cute kid for us to like get emotionally invested. No, well, I guess
wanted
he
that.
fought for that role. Yeah,
That's hilarious.
yeah. Also, there was 4 British actors in this cast, and only Newt was the only one allowed to keep his British accent because his character in the book also speaks in like British slang.
Oh, okay.
The rest of the
Oh.
British actors, which are, let me see if I can see the British actors. Albie is one of them. Dally, Will
Dally.
Poulter.
Yeah.
Oh, Galley. Yep.
Oh, Gally, Albie, and I forget the fourth one. But yeah, Newt was the
Interesting.
only one allowed to keep his British accent.
Huh.
which
I'm
is-
surprised there was a British person in the book.
Yeah. Oh, because they're like kids who've been like collected from all over the world who are immune to this disease.
Oh, see,
Gotcha.
that would have been good
Yeah.
to know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
movie.
would have gotten so much backstory.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Okay, that's how Tabby segues out of the.
Also, the characters' names are taken from historical figures, mostly inventors, mathematicians. So, like Thomas was Thomas Edison, Albie Albert Einstein, Newt Isaac Newton, Chuck Charles Darwin, Gally Galileo, Teresa Mother Teresa, Ben Benjamin Franklin, and then there's like 2 other characters who are not even involved, like Harriet Tubman. There was Aristotle.
Okay.
Those were not in the movie though.
Again, like cool name stuff,
For real.
but when he gets sung, you're just changing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, that's that for fun
Okay.
facts.
Okay.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad you didn't end it with a bummer this time.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. You remember how I mentioned the snake thing? Well, that killed like 4 of the cast members.
All right, you ready, John?
Yeah, let's go.
3, 2, 1. Ooh, we're pretty close to each other.
Pretty close. So my started off with an 8 and my final score is 8.25 because of the sparks.
Nice. Yeah, I started an 8.5 and I ended at an 8.5.
Can't change this guy's mind.
Nope. Yeah. I mean, I think we both really enjoyed the same thing.
Yeah.
And I think we honestly pretty much had the same problems with it too. So
Which weren't even
Yeah.
real problems compared
Just-
to some of the other movies.
yeah, for sure. Just wish it either was a little longer or ended a little differently.
Yep. All right. Well, that was really fun. If you're following along with the movies and you want to watch our next movie, we're going to review a movie called Tango and Cash. And full context, I remember watching this a bunch when I was a kid.
Okay.
I don't remember if it's good or not, but it came on in a hotel when we were doing one of the conferences.
Oh,
It was
sure.
on the hotel TV and I watched like a glimpse of it and I'm like, oh, this would actually be pretty fun. So it could be bad.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, just based off the name alone, I'm pretty pumped. I
Okay.
can't lie.
Well, it's a buddy cop movie.
Okay.
And so it stars Kurt Russell and Sylvester
What?
Stallone.
Okay.
And so they're 2 kind of like polar opposite cops and they're forced to work
this
together.
is sounding Lethal Weapon-esque.
You know, it was around that time period. So it could have been heavily inspired or not inspired at all.
I'll have to find out which one's better.
Okay. Well, just knowing your review of the first Lethal Weapon, I'm pretty sure this is going to, as long as there's no like obvious like violations of the law, like in the first Lethal Weapon, they're just fighting in the yard.
Yeah, just watching them.
Well, check it out and we'll see you next week. Until then, it's been a real pain. Bye.
This episode was brought to you by Storyline Multimedia, and special thanks to Matthew Purcell for making and producing our theme song.